morning, David.
Hi Emma.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. A bit wet outside, but all good.
It's a bit miserable.
Yeah.
This is exciting, isn't it? This is what the FA Cup's all about, fixtures like this.
Yes, certainly is. I've seen lots of sides of it, of being in winning teams and losing teams at different levels of the cup competition. I've been knocked out early, I've got to a cup final, so you never know how the cup's going to go, but we're looking forward to the game.
You say you have memories of games like this. I mean, apparently you were part of a Preston team that lost to Kidderminster on their way to meeting West Ham last time.
Yeah, so people tell me. I could hardly remember it, but once I sort of looked back into it and thought about it, I think the only difference then, I think Kidderminster were actually doing really well in the conference at the time, and I think we were in the bottom tier of the leagues really in England as well at Preston, so maybe not as big a surprise as made out, but I think when non-league teams beat league sides, it's always seen as a shock, so we have to make sure that isn't the case here.
They often say it's a leveller for the lower league team to be at home. Do you think that will be the case again this time, the fact that you're away against them?
Well, I think if we were at the London Stadium, I think it would be a much different situation than going away from home. Obviously the surrounds are not as big, the pitch will be probably not as in good a condition as what we would expect the Premier League pitches to be. But everybody's been brought up as footballers, we've all started at a level, and you have to show that you can, if you're put back to that level or have to play at that level, that you can perform.
What's your attitude towards this match in terms of team selection? Did you give some of your young players a chance?
Well, I think you could see what we've done against Leeds United. We're very strong. Our players are well rested, but I have to say we also have a Premier League game in midweek as well, so that has to come into consideration. But no, we're going to go and we've got to go there and get through in the cup. We've given ourselves to beat Leeds United in the first round of the cup. From our point of view, was very good. We want to go and see if we can get through to the next round after beating Kidderminster.
I don't know what your musical tastes are like, David. Are you a Led Zeppelin fan? My understanding is that Robert Plant's going to be supporting the home team.
I was actually when somebody said to me that he was a big Kidderminster fan, and I was asking Stuart Pearce about it, who obviously is a huge musical fan. I think Pearce is more of a punk really than anything else. But no, I don't think would Led Zeppelin come under heavy metal? I would think they would do, wouldn't they? Would that be? Yeah. No, I think I'm a bit more Motown, me, and a bit soul. So I don't know if I'm quite that, but nevertheless, obviously they have been an extremely fashionable and well-known band throughout their time.
And finally, from me, something just away from the FA Cup. I just wondered how you were feeling now after a January in which you had been very honest with us that things would be difficult, that maybe the players you wanted to bring in might be expensive, and it means that you maybe haven't been able to do the business you would have liked to have done.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think there's been 9 clubs in this January window who didn't bring any players in, Emma. So it shouldn't be that big a surprise to all the people who are out there. Really, we did talk about it. For some reason, it's been a much more difficult January window than possibly others. But I have to say, we wanted to add to the squad if we could do. We targeted players who we thought would help us, but unfortunately, we just couldn't quite get over the line with them.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Tim from Sky.
Hi, David. You okay?
Hi, Tim.
Just wondering, did anything get close to getting done towards the end of the transfer window? Did bids go in? Did you get close with any deals?
Yeah, we certainly did, Tim, but for different reasons it didn't quite happen.
Calvin Phillips was feeling Darwin Nunes, some of the names that were mentioned in the last few days of the window. Is that the sort of kind of level you have to pitch at now to strengthen your group because it's so strong? And could you revisit any targets that you had in this window in the summer?
Well, I'd never tell you the targets because that would be wrong. It would be even the names you're mentioning. I couldn't guarantee if they were correct or not. But what I do want to do is I want to be ambitious here at West Ham. I want to bring in good players. I want to add to what I think is a really good squad we've got at the moment. We're building on it. So sometimes getting the things you actually want, you have to wait a little bit longer. We weren't able to get it in this January window, but I think it was quite obvious to most clubs. As I said, I think it was 9 clubs didn't do any business in January. So I think it should be no surprise to a lot of people that we were one, but we did try very hard, I have to say.
And final one from me, the FA Cup, is this a competition you believe you can win this season, and is the message to the players to give Kidderminster the respect they deserve?
Well, I would hope that we would always give any club the respect, and in many ways I think you have to give the players and the teams in the lower leagues even more respect, because with respect you might not know all their players, you might not know exactly their stadium, how it looks, all those situations. So I think you have to do even more work on it, be prepared as well as you possibly can be. And you know, we had done a good job against Leeds United in the first game, so we need to make sure that we do a good job in this round of the Cup. All the draws we've had this season have been hard in the Cup, whether it be in the Carabao Cup, whether it be in Europe. It's now in the FA Cup, and I put Kidderminster in that category as well. It's a tough game for us.
Thanks, David. All the best.
Cheers.
Thanks, Tim. Ian from TalkSport.
Hi David, how are you?
How you doing, Moose?
This is a bit of a high into nothing, isn't it? Because you win, everyone expects you to win. If you lose, then you're going to make headlines for the wrong reason.
Well, ultimately we're favourites to win the game. I've got no doubt everybody will see it that way. But as we well know, the Cup never often pans out exactly as the way everybody thinks. So we've got to prepare right, be ready, inform the players as much as we can regarding their players, regarding how the game going, and we'll try and do that.
How's Mikel Antonio? Is he going to be able to play?
Mick will arrive back today at 11 o'clock from Jamaica, which, as you can imagine, is not particularly good. And if you look at it realistically, you'd have to say it's a terrible situation that players would be away. I know there's players away African nations at the moment who clubs have not got them, but this was an international week. We've got Mick away, and we'll get him back today around about 11 o'clock hopefully.
I mean, how do you feel about that? You've had essentially a winter break, but as you say, a lot of players have been at AFCON, and obviously players who have gone to play World Cup qualifiers around the world, especially South America and over in the Caribbean and America.
I think the biggest problem really is the scheduling of all the games is really tough for the people who are doing it. Everybody's trying to squeeze games in, and the people who get affected are obviously the players first and foremost. But I think if you're a club who are paying the wages, you'd be saying, well, it's hardly correct that you're getting your player back at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning to play on a Saturday at 12:30. But that's part of it, and we have to live with it.
Regarding the January window, you were talking about ambition before. A lot of West Ham fans have been calling up on TalkSport and questioning the ambition, not of you, of perhaps your bosses, the fact that no one was brought in, and if Antonio got injured this month or next month, West Ham season could quickly come to an end, and what it signifies for Declan Rice in the summer.
Well, I can only tell you the board were terrific through the January window. They have been since I've been here. They supported us greatly, made funds available, and we tried to use the supporters' money and the board's money the best we could. But we just couldn't get a couple of players who we would have really liked. So I'd rather save the money than waste it.
Just in the summer then, yeah?
Sorry?
Just in the summer, yeah?
I don't know, but we'll see.
Last one, it's more than 40 years since West Ham won the Cup. I was at Wembley in 1980. Should I be preparing to dust off my Trevor Brooking top just yet?
I think we should go to Kidderminster first, see if we can try and get through this game, get that done. If we can start to get a bit closer, I'm looking forward to the second half of the season at West Ham. We've got European football, we've got big games coming up in that. We've got really big games in the Premier League. I see for us to stay with the top teams, and obviously if we can get a good run in the FA Cup. We beat Manchester United, Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. We couldn't quite get past Tottenham in the quarter-finals, so we have to try and make have good runs in the cup. I think it's and start to get closer to getting to finals and winning them, hopefully.
Thank you.
Good luck, David.
Thank you.
Just finish off with Jack from the Evening Standard.
Morning, David.
Hi, Jack.
I just want the fact that nobody's come in obviously means there's chances further for other people in the squad that might not have got them so far this season. Is this a game that Alex Powell could get a run out in, and although it's against lower league opposition, well, non-league opposition, to sort of impress, because he's not perhaps featured as much as many expected so far this season?
No, but it is a possibility. No, I'll look at the squad. Obviously, the players are fresh, but I've also got to keep them fresh for what's coming up as well in the second half of the season. So trying to get them in the right condition. But yeah, Alex has been a little bit unfortunate, maybe to not featured. They had a period when we had a couple of the European games near the end where he got COVID, which made it difficult for him, and just missed out a little bit on a period where there was more games. But yeah, I would like to try and get Alex some minutes and give him an opportunity to see what he can do.
What does he need to do to get more regular chances? Because obviously you turned to Manu to play alongside Dent, but you didn't have another central midfielder.
Yeah, well, I think Manu's played particularly well. I think Alex is still getting used to the speed and really getting used to the whole situation. But look, I think we've said many times how long it can take players to sort of get used to the Premier League football, to what we need can alter between players. There's some players who can come in immediately, there's others who can take a bit of time. I think Alex is just taking a little bit of time, but as I said, hopefully he'll get some football in the second half of the season.
And just finally on the transfer window, do you accept it is a bit of a risk that you are still going on with one striker, or is this sort of a test of sticking to your guns on the policy of not just getting one in to have?
Well, there was no intention of taking any risk. I wouldn't use the word risk in any way, because obviously we have other people who can play there, but we were always trying to add to what we've got if we could do. But overall, we know that it'd be hard to get much better than Jared Bowen if we're talking to him about as another striker. But I didn't necessarily want just backup. I wanted real competition. But while I couldn't get that real competition, I could have easily gone out and bought backup, easily done that. But what I wanted was real competition and people who were actually going to take other people's jerseys and challenge them, and that's what we tried to do.